today on Divorce Court.
He used to call me beautiful every day, and he used to show love and affection every day, but that stopped.
When we got married, my expectations were that things were going to be 50-50 as far as bills, chores, everything. I spoke to her about that, and she agreed.
The family issues is affecting our relationship because his mom is trying to bribe him to leave me.
I feel like she's checked out. She's just looking for someone to take care of her.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Eddie Sweet and Loxie Sweet. The two of you have been married for 3.5 years. You've been together for 4 years. You don't have any children together. You're here to get some advice because you want to save your marriage. Mr. Sweet, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship, how it started, and why we're in divorce court today?
When me and Loxie met, we were both working. She was working. She had normal activities. She went out with friends. She had hobbies. I felt like we were a partner in the relationship as far as the financials and everything, like chores and stuff like that. And it seems like the more and more, like, the time goes on in our marriage, the less and less she does.
Okay. Start me out at the beginning, though. I mean, because I think you had an interesting, you got married after knowing her for 60 days.
Yeah.
Talk to me what happens in 60 days that says, I do at the end of it.
All right, well, when me and her met, we were homeless, we were living on the streets, okay? So in my head, and I'm just being honest, I don't know if this is, logical or whatever. In my head, I thought I need to lock this girl in now who's willing to marry a homeless man right now. And that was my logic. I mean,
Did she have a home?
She moved, when we first met, no.
So you were both homeless?
Homeless, yes, ma'am.
So you wanted to lock down somebody else with no house? I don't get it.
At that time in my life, I was on drugs. I didn't have any goals, so I really wasn't thinking into the future.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Sweet, what did you see within 60 days that said to you, I should marry this guy?
I felt like he was my soulmate.
What made you think he was your soulmate?
By the way he made me feel, and like we was both struggling and going through a lot, and we was gonna pull each other out of it together, and I just felt like that meant something.
Do you still think he's your soulmate?
I don't know.
Why don't you tell me, you said earlier that you believe that as the relationship is continued, she's doing less and less and become more and more lazy. Explain the course of events to me.
What do you mean? The
like
evolution of Loxie not working?
Yes. Yes.
All right, it started off, like I said, we were working, we both had jobs, we were both contributing to the marriage as far as paying bills and food and all that good stuff. What exactly occurred to make her not do that, I can't really say. There wasn't like a significant, I guess.
There wasn't an event.
It wasn't
that
one event. I think it's just the struggling, just the 3.5 years we've been married has been rough. So I think it's just built up on her maybe. She's getting depressed. But I'm depressed too. I'm working 3 jobs. When I get off work, I have to come home, do the cleaning, do the laundry, do the cooking. But in the time that we've been married, she's cooked for me 3 times. She doesn't agree to that.
He is such a liar.
Maybe it's been 5 times, okay?
Mrs. Sweet, is he holding down 3 jobs and then he has to come home and do all of the housework as well?
No, he's lying. He's not holding down 3 jobs.
Does he come home to a meal and a nice clean house?
No, I've been down for my knee surgery.
You've been down for 3 years. It's time to get up.
Well,
tell it, Mr. Sweet. Mr. Sweet is frustrated. Before the knee surgery, were you on top of all of the domestic duties since he was on top of all the economic ones?
Yes, I was working. I was a waitress.
For how long?
5 weeks.
Did the two of you discuss who was going to do what when you got married?
50-50. It was going to be split.
50-50 on the bills,
It doesn't matter how
everything.
she made the money. I don't want her on the streets, giving it away for money or whatever, but I mean, have a hustle, do something. Like, I do photography, okay?
Right.
I take pictures, I hustle those, you know? Whatever it takes to pay our rent. I might not be able to keep a stable job, but as soon as I lose a job, I go and find another one. She can't even do that. And,
you got no hustle, Mrs. Sweet? You're not out there
think
trying
she's
to
using me.
join hands with your man and get out there and make something happen economically?
No.
And it's not
You
fun
say that his mother doesn't like you. Is that true?
That's true.
You think she's a lot of the problem? A lot of the reason why he's mad at you is because he's listening to his mother. Is that true?
That's true. She bribes him to leave me. She tells him that if he leaves me, she'll put him up in a different apartment and stuff, and that really makes me mad.
Because my mom doesn't...
Now, why do you think his mother wants him to leave you?
Probably because I haven't worked that much since we've been together. And I know that, but I've had a lot of issues, a lot of health issues. I had my appendix taken out, my gallbladder taken out. I've had 2 knee surgeries.
Elective.
Yeah, but we're talking 3.5 years, though.
Elective knee surgeries.
You know what I'm saying?
I worked too.
When's the last time you had a job?
The last time I had a job was right before I had the surgery.
Elective surgery. We discussed this surgery, that maybe this wasn't the best time to have this surgery because we just moved into a new apartment, okay? She knew that we needed 2 incomes to pay for that rent. And then her doctor, the doctor's concern is only getting money, okay? The doctor's not gonna pay her rent, buy her food. The doctor right now is paid and on vacation somewhere, and me and her are struggling about to be homeless.
Mrs. Sweet, this man is sounding so logical over here. You were in a situation, in a new apartment, you needed both incomes. Did you decide to have elective surgery and just leave him out alone in the cold?
I wouldn't say elective surgery. I don't know why he calls it elective surgery.
That's the definition of it.
The doctor strictly said if I don't have the surgery, I'm going to have a knee replacement.
That doctor wanted money, and he got money, and we're struggling about to be homeless.
I'm with you, Mr. Sweet, but in one context, you do kind of have to listen to the professionals when they're saying, you know, your knee is bad and you might have to have replacement surgery.
I understand that.
And all that kind of stuff, but you could have found a job sitting down somewhere and waited for a while and helped this man pay the rent. Sometimes you got to wait on some stuff.
He's quit at least 10 jobs.
But I always find another one.
He's had like 10 jobs since we've been together. He can't keep a job either. So what's
I'm not perfect, and like I said, I have trouble maintaining a job. I can't.
But you always get a new one.
I always find some way to pay our electric,
for a
pay our phone
day.
bill. Whether it's a day or whatever, I'm still making money that day, and the next day I go find another source of income.
Okay, I got it. I'm gonna talk to Mrs. Sweet for a second.
He don't show me any kind of intimacy or anything like that, so.
Well, tell me about that. What's lacking in your love life?
Sex.
Well, there you go. Now, Mrs. Sweet, I understand that deep down in your heart of hearts, you really don't think it's your job to provide for the family economically. You were raised to believe that that's a man's job. That's what you said. Is that accurate?
That's the way I was raised, yeah. I was raised, until this day, my dad still tells me that the man should take care of the woman.
Mm-hmm. And you think that's how this relationship should be?
No, I don't feel like that's how this relationship should be, but he don't show me any kind of intimacy or anything like that, so.
Well, tell me about that. What's lacking in your love life?
Sex.
Well, there you go. I asked,
That's right.
and she told me.
You got it. No question about it now.
That's what I get. So, has it gone away altogether, or is it just infrequent?
Infrequent, like once in a blue moon.
Now, Mr. Sweet, I never, ever make a man defend his position on that. But if you care to comment, you may do so.
By the time I get home, I don't know how you feel when you get off work from a hard day's work, but if she's more concerned with having sex all the time, being homeless, you can have sex 24/7, you know? when I'm done making money, by the time I get home, maybe I'm not in the mood for sex. And honestly, I feel a bit resentful at Loxy for putting us in the situation that we're in, to where I don't really feel that intimate with her. Why should I share that expression of love with her in that way if she can't even express, like, clean my laundry for me? Like, I don't, you know, I mean, does that make sense?
Oh, it makes complete sense. Do you understand what he just said to you?
Yeah.
He said, look, I'm out busting my behind by myself, trying to make some money. I come home, house ain't together, don't have any food. Why would I want to touch you?
Ex-girlfriends.
Huh?
Talking to ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, because they're working.
No, we'll go.
Well, then maybe you should go be with one of your
Now,
ex-girlfriends.
Mrs. Sweet,
Don't tempt me.
let me say this to you. I'm not mad, but can you imagine being in his position? That he's struggling so hard to keep both of your heads above water that he doesn't even feel supported, that the home life is taken care of. You're just kind of like
She's
kicking
kicked
back.
Yeah, just kick back.
Do you see that? And do you see that that's why he doesn't feel intimate towards you? Because he feels like you're not contributing to the two-ness of you. You just about your oneness.
I told him I was depressed, and when I get depressed, I just don't feel like getting out of the bed.
Mm-hmm. How long you been depressed?
I've been depressed my whole life.
Well, maybe getting out in the sunshine outside of the house would help, you know, depression. Get some serotonin going in your brain, something. Living like a troll, I'd be depressed too, you know?
Mr. Sweet, you have this all worked out. I know, but I mean, I'm
I've had
enjoying
3 years
your
to think about it.
conversation.
I've had 3.5 years.
I'm enjoying your conversation. You feel like she's sabotaging you. What do you mean by that?
Even when I went on the news for my pictures, Loxy said that I couldn't go on there unless she could be on the news too. You know, this was a big deal for me to be able to show my photography off, especially even though it was just a local news
They
station.
asked for me to be on the
Hang
news
on, Mrs.
with
Sweet.
you.
Mrs. Sweet, hang on a second. Mr. Sweet, go ahead, finish up.
I'm just being honest. That's what she said. She said that if they don't allow me to go on to the show with you, I don't want you doing that. She doesn't support me.
Did you go anyway?
She went on with me.
Oh. Why'd you want to go on the show with him?
They said Loxy and Eddie Sweet.
Did they?
No, they
Yes.
It's about his photography? Are you part of his photography business?
Well, they had a lot of questions that they was asking me and stuff.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice. You got a good eye there.
Thank you.
Oh.
That's in Cincinnati. I know you're from Cleveland, so you might know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, Mrs. Sweet, I'm going to give us a little second. I'm going to give you some time to dig yourself out of this hole you're in. And tell me what you provide for Mr. Sweet so I can give you some kind of encouragement to keep him.
Last month, when we were threatened with eviction, she was gonna go to her dad's house and leave me on the street. Now, my mom wouldn't let me come back to live with her because I'm still with Loxy, sticking up for her.
Tell me something good, Mrs. Sweet. Something helpful. If you help him with his camera, something. Something.
I do. I'm there for his photography.
She was there when the cameras came out. She was right there by me. I'm his wife. But when I'm out there hustling and getting the picture, she ain't nowhere to be found.
What does he provide?
A roof. I just paid our electric bill. We have a vehicle. Don't even get me started. I'm not perfect by any means. I've introduced her to drugs in the very beginning of our marriage, but I'm trying to get my life back together, back on a right track. And if she doesn't want to be a part of that, she needs to figure out what she's going to do, or get help for the problems she thinks she has. If she's depressed, go seek some kind of help for that. She's not wanting to do that. She's not wanting to do anything. I'll support her if she is, depressed or whatever, but she's not looking for any help. So how can I help someone who doesn't want to help themselves? If she doesn't change after this show, I have to leave her to save myself.
I'm looking for work now, whenever we get back.
She is, yeah.
You're looking for work now. I got to tell you, Mrs. Sweet, you got a narrow window about this wide to do the right thing, and you got to come up with a whole lot of right in a very short period of time. You're in an urgent situation. You're about to fall over the marital cliff, and you fall over the marital cliff, you fall over the economic cliff because you don't have any money. So you got to be a little bit scared, and you have to walk out of here a little bit scared. I'm always scared. I'm always looking for another job. You know why? Because, but run a little bit. Don't get comfortable. I think you're comfortable. Yeah. I think you're waiting for the disability to kick in so you can kick back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're going to lose your dude. You're going to lose your husband if you don't pay attention to it. Are you going to go somewhere and do something about the depression you say you're suffering from?
I see a counselor every month, once a month.
Once a month? You might want a little more help. Is it difficult to get because you don't have any money?
The counselor's free with Medicaid.
With Medicaid. I understand you're facing eviction right at the moment. Is that correct?
It's close. Yeah. Yeah. On the 1st. Yeah. And last month, this is really one of the things that pushed this to a head. Last month, when we were threatened with eviction, she was going to go to her dad's house and leave me on the street. Now, my mom wouldn't let me come back to live with her because I'm still with Loxie, sticking up for her, okay? And she was going to just leave me on the streets, and then she wants to, when I'm saying that after this show I might leave, she's saying, well, we proposed and we took vows, and that's supposed to be for life. But as soon as the money ran out, she wasn't worried about no vows.
Did you go to your father's and leave him high and dry?
No, because the rent got paid.
But if the rent wasn't paid, you were going to go back to your father's?
It was an option. My dad didn't want to see me on the streets, and his mom would take him in a heartbeat or put him up in another apartment.
My relationship with my mom's ruined.
It's not ruined. She's still bribing him. She's still telling him that he should leave me.
I understand what's happening here. I got something I want to say to you about it. If I was Mrs. Sweet's mother, I'd be telling him the same thing that his mother is telling him. You need to get up and get it together because you're not doing your part. And you want to talk about, you may be depressed. That's very true. I've been depressed in the past. Things happen, but I didn't never miss work because you have to feed yourself. And I think you're looking for a free ride. You're going to kick back on that disability. I want you to leave here scared. I'm worried about not having anybody, not having a husband, and not having a home, because if you're not scared, you're going to sit down and you're not going to get back up, and this man is going to break camp. He may have his problems, he may have his issues, but he's done. He's cooked, he's toast, he's finished all the way through. Not medium rare, he is well done. He's a heartbeat away from his mama's house, and you had to give him a very good reason not to go. Do you hear me? Get it together, get scared, get out there, get it done, get a job. This matter's adjourned.
I'm giving Loxie 2 months, and if she doesn't at least get a job in that time, then I'm leaving. And I think that's more than fair.
Eddie gave me a deadline for 2 months to get a job, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try hard. I'm gonna listen to what Judge Toller told me, and I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do and stop being lazy and making up excuses.
Today on Divorce Court.
I thought I was gonna have a great life with Nortrice, but once we moved in together, I realized she was a cheater, she was a liar, and she ain't bringing home no money.
My biggest problem with Lauren is the continuous lies and disappointments, the broken promises.
One of my biggest issues with her is she's too controlling. She controls everything, even what I'm eating.
I want the judge to tell Lauren to pull up his big boy pants and pull it together.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Lauren Harper and Nortrice Banner. The two of you have been together for 6 years and you have one child together. I have seen you here before. The last time I was here, however, this man was married to another woman and you were the side chick. Now you the main woman, had a baby, and now you having trouble with him at this juncture. So before we start with that, I wanted us to see what happened last time you were here.
He didn't tell me that he took a ring from a woman and gave it to me? No.
Not a woman, his wife.
I didn't even know the man was married until the woman showed up at my house. If somebody presents a ring to you, why are you talking while I'm talking?
Oh, my Lord.
No, wait a minute. Hang on.
That's what the humming is coming from.
Oh, that's what the humming is for.
It's an exercise to keep me
calm. You.
Yes, to
when
keep me
you
calm.
are excited, in a state of agitation.
Your Honor.
If you've got any womanhood with you, I wouldn't wear it on my finger. I would give it back to her. I'd have too much dignity for myself and my morals and my state of mind to wear something that was stolen from the woman whose husband you were sleeping with. Ooh, how deep is that?
She can have it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that was a hot mess with a side of crazy. So I'm not surprised you're back again. Mr. Harper, why don't you tell me what happened since then?
Okay, well, since the show, I thought everything was going to be good because, I was in love with Nortrice, and I still am in love with Nortrice. However, since we moved in, once you move in with somebody, that's when you get to know who they really are.
Uh-huh.
And once I moved in with her, I found, slowly but surely that she was very controlling.
Explain that to me. Give me some examples of the controlling things that she does.
She got control issues, for real though. She control every aspect of the house. Everything, I don't care what's happening. She control what time she want the TVs cut on. She will control what time she want the TVs cut off. She can control what channels, what networks we watching, and all that kind of stuff. You
say she controls your career too, though. Where you're supposed to be singing? Tell me about that.
I'm a singer, and one of her close friends or one of her relatives actually owns a funeral home, and so every funeral that comes through this funeral home, she's booking me for it. She don't ask me, Lauren, do you want to do this funeral? Do you want to do that funeral? She's booking me for the funerals. I come and find out that she got me on schedule. It could be tomorrow. And she said, you got a funeral tomorrow. And then she's booking the songs that I'm singing. So I don't even get a chance to decide if I want to sing a certain song. She's booking the same song. Now, when I'm singing this song at the funeral, they're enjoying it. So she's booking the same song at all these funerals. And I'm just like, whoa, out.
Why don't you let this man sing a new song at the funeral?
I wish I could control how much this man lies.
Will you tell me what's going on? You say you're not a controlling woman?
I am not a controlling woman, Your Honor. I thought I was being the woman of the house. Mm-hmm. Woman of the house. He demands certain things. He wants the house to look a certain way. And in order for the house to be a certain way, everybody has to comply with everything that's going on in the house.
What kind of compliance are you looking for?
Just pick up your own stuff, Your Honor. It's simple stuff. It ain't complicated. It ain't rocket science. I clean up. I go to the store, I make sure he has everything that he needs, everything that he asked me to do. But when I do it, I'm controlling.
Your Honor.
Lord, shut up.
Hey.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Hey, be calm. What is your main complaint with him?
He getting on my nerves.
What's he doing?
He is triggering my asthma. I found out Lauren was the trigger to my asthma. Lauren, I can ask Lauren to take out the trash. He'd be like, oh, I took it out. Trash right there.
No, Trees, I don't know why you standing here telling this lie like that. Now, we can't even let the house get dirty because you so much in control of everything because she's a control freak. And I'm telling you, the house never gets dirty. Right. So what are you talking about?
Well, you say he's controlling the money.
Man.
He only gives you $200 a week?
$200 a week. Yet, he's performing. He's performing all the time.
But is that for everything? For food?
That's for
everything.
That's for everything, or whatever else he thinks he'll pay for it. He'll pay for it, or I'm supposed to figure it out. After the $800, I gotta figure it out.
But wait a minute, hold on. Where your money at though? That's the problem.
Is she working?
Listen, she ain't working no regular job enough to get no money because I don't see no money. That's the problem I'm talking about. I don't see no money. She doing comedy and she doing good. I appreciate all that, but she doing more stand-up than we doing laying down. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand it. I don't see no money. You know, my thing is this. If you're doing stand-up, fine and dandy, but bring a check home.
Do you bring home your money?
Yeah, and I bring home my money. My money goes back into the household. It ain't like I'm taking elaborate trips because he ain't going on them with us.
Okay, I got you. Now, I understand, Ms. Banner, your primary complaint is that though you've had him for 6 years, you've been living together, he won't marry you.
Right.
And you feel like you're getting strong along. That's why you want to end this thing. So I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Mr. Harper, is it true that you've set 2 wedding dates and you've canceled them both?
We did, and
explain that to me.
The problem is that every time it gets close to the time to actually get married, I get cold feet.
Ms. Banner, you say that you think he's stringing you along and won't marry you. Why don't you talk to me about that?
Your Honor, after I left here 6 years ago, I left here feeling humiliated, embarrassed, and ashamed. And Lauren promised that after their divorce, we were gonna get married. It's been 6 years. We've had 2 wedding dates scheduled. Every time, I got my show coming up, I'm putting my production together, I gotta go in the studio, this, that, and the other. He produces these shows and these CDs. Can't produce a wedding though.
Mr. Harper?
Can't make that magic happen.
Mr. Harper, is it true that you've set 2 wedding dates and you've canceled them both?
We did, and
explain that to me.
The problem is that every time it gets close to the time to actually get married, I get cold feet because she is so controlling. I mean, she's like she's in the passenger seat driving the car. I'm driving the car. She's in the passenger seat. I'm scared.
Oh, stop it, please. That was his same song about Deatra.
His first
wife. Oh, she control when I'm driving down the street.
No, Deatra.
Do you practice that?
Hey, don't argue. Why set the dates in the first place? If you felt like she's too controlling, why would you tell her, okay, baby, I'm gonna marry you later?
Because she threatened to put me out. She threatened to put me out. And so, I understand that a woman wants to actually have a commitment. I understand all that, and I'm getting older, and I want that. I'm just saying that I want to be sure that the commitment I'm making is for the rest of my life, and that I'm not backing myself in a corner I can't get out of.
Hang on. What could she do to get you across that line? What would you need to see her change if you're in
a relationship with somebody, it's a 50-50. It's a give and take. And you got to allow somebody else's opinion to exist. You can't just be controlling your thought, your way or no way. You can't be like that. Even if I'm the husband, I still want to consider my significant other, her thoughts, her opinion. She don't consider none of that with me. She's running everything. I don't like that. I got a problem with that.
Well, did you think that giving her a ring would change that? I mean, you're dangling it out there when it seems like nothing that she's doing is making you comfortable in making the commitment. So why dangle the commitment?
I mean, because I still
You don't want to get put out.
You don't want to
Right.
get, that's what you said. That's the bottom line.
As I was asking that question, I realized how stupid it was because you already told me.
He already said it. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is he don't want to get put out. What'd you give me the ring for? Oh, yes, I did get a new ring. I did get a new ring that I went with him to pick out. So, yeah, I know where it came from.
And at the time when we bought the ring, everything was wonderful. So, you know, it's one of them kind of situations where you think it's going to work and everything looks happy, and that's the way it was. When we bought the ring, we were doing good.
You were doing good,
Yeah.
but not so much now.
Not so much now.
Now, I understand that in addition to these other issues, there are issues of infidelity, which I find so hard to believe, given the way that you two started out. So I want to switch pages here and talk about who's cheating on whom.
I haven't caught him cheating, but it's been my experience. If somebody's always accusing you of something, they're doing it.
Well, Mr. Harper, I find it hard
Right.
to be upset with her, given the person you brought here to see me. So we'll just have her come on out.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Mr. Harper, you believe Ms. Banner is cheating on you. Why don't you tell me why you think that's happening?
Well, first of all, I went on a trip to New York. I was doing a show. I was supposed to be there for 3 days, but I ended up only being there for 2 days, and I had to come back home. What had happened was I had left my phone at home. I turned around and went back home to my house and walked in my house and walked in. When I opened up the front door, I walked and stepped into a pile of dog mess. Now, my house ain't never dirty because she's always on top of that. She's a great cook and she's a good housekeeper. And so if the house is out of order, I know something wrong with that. And that's when I realized that she had not been at home for the last 2 days. And I went to the mailbox. I checked the mail. The mail is all this mail. And one of the mails was a Visa. And I looked at the Visa bill, and the Visa bill showed a hotel in Toledo, 2 or 3 days, different days. Mm-hmm. I called on that particular day, and she was checked in the hotel under her own name. She didn't even have sense enough to use somebody else's name.
Ms. Banner, do you have a different version of that story, or did he get it accurate?
No, he didn't get it accurate at all. If I was going somewhere to cheat, I would have went under a different name. I went under my own name because I went to do a gig. I went to do a comedy show. Lauren was already gone, but since he left his phone conveniently,
he came back.
He came back conveniently after 2 days.
Well, don't you two people talk? I mean, my husband and I, if we're leaving town, I'm going over here, I'm going over here. Why would you not tell him you're going to a gig?
How about that?
Not if he doesn't take his phone. Lauren was gone. I got the gig after Lauren left.
Yeah,
and you couldn't call him because the phone was at home.
Right.
Oh, I get it. Do you get it?
No.
Well,
because when I got home, when she finally got home, I showed her the receipts from Visa, how many times you done been in Toledo. If you just getting the gig, you've been back and forth to Toledo too many times for me not to know about it.
Is there somebody in Toledo? Do you got a man in Toledo?
Don't even
A comedy
try.
club.
You got a comedy club in Toledo. That's it.
Toledo.
Yeah, y'all doing a lot of laughing, all right.
I like performing.
You're going to stick with that
I like
okay, Ms. Banner.
I like performing.
But you
at
claim
club.
that he's cheating.
I haven't caught him cheating, but it's been my experience. If somebody's always accusing you of something, they're doing it. I don't go around looking for little stuff for Lauren to be doing. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. We were trying to have a trusting relationship, but that's not been happening. Because every time I turn around, I'm screwing somebody.
Well, listen, what else would you think? Every time I see her, when she go to one of her shows, she hugged up with different men. I don't understand it. If you look at her Facebook page, she got so many different people that she hugged up. She ain't hugged up with me, nothing.
Well, Mr. Harper, I find it hard to be upset with her, given the person you brought here to see me. So we'll just have her come on out.
Oh, let's talk about it. What the? Okay, it all makes sense now.
Ms. Hicks,
Yes, darling.
how are you?
I'm fine, Judge.
You're
How are
back.
you? Yes, I am. Yes,
You
I am.
still humming?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Oh, you humming too now, huh?
Now we got to figure out how in the world you got back involved in this nonsense.
Yes, let's figure that out.
Mr. Harper, how in the world
okay.
did you find yourself in between these two women yet again?
Okay. Let me explain. What had happened was I was doing a show. I have a show called Spare Change, and I was doing the show.
And he needed some spare change.
And one of my character that I play happens to come through the audience. And when my character came through the audience, she was sitting in the front row. And I couldn't believe it. I hadn't seen her in a long time. It had been 4 or 5 years. And it was just surprising. You know, it was like, you know, you see somebody from your past and...
But you already divorced the woman.
Right, but I hadn't seen her. We hadn't talked, and you know, after the show, we went out and did karaoke. We sang, and we kind of just had a good time. And one thing led to another, and
Ease on back up. Ease on back up. I don't want anybody making any moves that I don't know about. Come on. Ease on back up. Everybody stay dressed. Oh, you were okay.
No,
cool.
I'm cool.
I didn't know what was happening over there.
No, I'm just tying up.
So, Ms. Hicks,
Yes.
can you tell me what possessed you to get involved with him yet again?
Well, see, when I saw him that night, I really didn't know that was going to be him in the show, like starring in it like that. And I was really surprised to see him. And I was, you know, I'm over it. I'm like, really, I'm over it. I've moved on. I didn't want to, he just kept calling. He just kept wanting to hang out. He just kept wanting to, you know what I'm saying? I'm in New York. I ain't got nothing to do. So, you know, whatever. We can go do karaoke. We can have some fun. I don't have, you know, I'm single. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no reason to have to be faithful to nobody or nothing like that. And they ain't married. And when you ain't married, you're single. So
you
we
just went
do
for
it. You know, and I really don't have any allegiance to anyone. So it's not like I wasn't really trying to, you know, pay back or anything. I'm just doing me. I don't even see none of this that's happening.
This is too deep. This is too much. This is too far. And we don't have enough time. So I'm going to have to take a recess, pull myself together, and then we're going to go at it again.
All right.
This matter is adjourned.
She obviously had an agenda.
No, I didn't have no agenda.
Yes, you had to have an agenda.
Hang on.
Sing to the hills.
I wish I could sing. I'd start. Today on Divorce Court, we're going to take a look at the last time you were here, and then we're going to update you about how we got here where we are now. I have seen you here before. The last time I was here, however, this man was married to another woman, and you were the side chick. Now you the main woman, had a baby, and now you having trouble with him at this juncture. Well, Mr. Harper, I find it hard to be upset with her, given the person you brought here to see me.
What the? Okay, it all makes sense now.
Ms. Hicks.
Yes, darling.
How are you?
I'm fine, Judge.
You're
How are
back.
you? Yes, I am. Yes,
You
I am.
still humming?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Ease on back up. I don't want anybody making any moves that I don't know about. Come on, ease on back up. Everybody stay dressed. Oh, you were okay.
No, I'm cool.
I didn't know what was happening over there.
No, I'm just tying up.
Mr. Harper, how in the world did you find yourself in between these two women yet again?
Okay, when my character came through the audience, she was sitting in the front row. And I couldn't believe it. I hadn't seen her in a long time. It had been 4 or 5 years.
I'm single, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have no reason to have to be faithful to nobody or nothing like that, and they ain't married, and when you ain't married, you're single.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Lauren Harper and Nortrice Banner. The two of you have been together for 6 years. We are reconvening after a recess session that we had. Ms. Deatra Hicks is here. It's a history. It's a whole history and a mess. Mr. Harper used to be married to Ms. Hicks. Ms. Banner took Mr. Harper from Ms. Hicks. Now, Mr. Harper and Ms. Banner together, Ms. Hicks is dipping in the sauce a little bit. I'm going to take a look at what happened the first time the three of you were here.
He didn't tell me that he took a ring from a woman and gave it to me? No.
Not a woman, his wife.
I didn't even know the man was married until the woman showed up at my house. If somebody presents a ring to you, why are you talking while I'm talking?
Oh, my Lord.
No, wait a minute. Hang on. So, Mr. Harper, take it away. How did we get here? Yeah.
Well, like I said, you know, we saw each other at my performance, and I had not seen her in a long time, and it just was a rekindling. You know, I didn't have no more animosity, and obviously she didn't either. And we got together and we did karaoke that night.
Didn't you feel at all? I mean, you've already crushed this woman when you brought that woman along. Didn't you feel guilty at all about crushing this woman with that one?
He doesn't feel anything, Your Honor. He doesn't feel anything. He is
That's
full
not true.
of
That's
crap.
not true. That's
Go
He
ahead,
is
speak.
full of, he doesn't feel anything. Lauren wants what Lauren wants, and when it's not working for Lauren, he does what's convenient. That's the convenience right now. All she is convenient because he's having a problem with me. But that's been his life. And so
That's
it's like
just how
you
he
said,
rolls.
it's like you said, karma.
Oh,
Well, Ms. Hicks, let me ask you this. Did you feel at all badly about putting another woman in the position that you were put in? I mean, you know how much it hurts because it happened to you.
Well, it wasn't really the position that I was in because we were like married. They're not married. He's not married. So like I said, I don't have any allegiance to anyone. I'm not married. He's not married. He won't marry her because clearly he's been wanting to get back with me. Okay? That is the
No.
Hang on.
Don't lie, 'cause I'm gonna get hot.
Ms. Banner.
She needs order.
Order. Do you two know each other beyond him? I mean, do you have a history together that's unrelated to him? Or is he the only thing that connects the two of you?
Our work connects us.
We performed.
Yeah, we perform.
A couple of years ago, after the show, we did a show together, but everything was cool. We were cordial.
Yeah, because I'm professional.
Very professional, no problems, so I thought. But she obviously had an agenda.
No, I didn't have no agenda.
Oh, yes, you had to have an agenda.
Hang on.
Sing to the hills.
Stop nothing, Ms. Banner.
Don't lie.
Let it go. Let it go.
From
Let it
which
go.
your help gonna need to come.
Ms.
Girl,
Banner. Ms.
sing.
Banner. Ms. Banner.
You
Ms.
better
Banner.
shut it down.
You better sing it up.
Why you think I have
Sing
an
it up.
agenda?
Hey, ladies.
Sing it.
Okay. The judge needs
Ladies.
order.
Say it, sing
Order.
it. Shut up.
You're all gonna be in the hallway in a minute.
Woo!
What's the line?
I wish I could sing. I'd start.
I can help you.
If I started, everybody would be running out of here.
What's the
Ms.
line?
Banner, let me tell you. Let me say that, Mr. Harper, what is it you want to do?
I first of all, I want to, because I'm not trying to look like I'm a dog.
Stop.
You a dog.
Stop.
Lying dog.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying.
Lying dog.
Hey. Miss Banner, stop.
Okay.
You stop. I don't even know why you bother, but anyway.
I'm stopping.
What's so special about him? I mean, there's a whole lot of guys out there. Why are we rotating around this brother here?
Wait a minute.
Ms. Hicks, what's so special
Really,
about
it's
it?
not. I'm telling you, I promise you, it's nothing It's just a passing of time for me. Ain't nothing special. Ain't nothing. I'm just hanging out. Like I said, I don't care. I ain't trying to be no serious with him because I already know him. I already know what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like it and you call like you've been calling, you keep calling and keep calling, and I dare you to say oh Lord Jesus, I dare you to say you didn't been calling me. You ain't been calling me? Say you ain't been calling me. Say you ain't been calling me. All right, he's been calling me. So he's saying it wasn't planned, Your Honor, but he's been calling me and I've been putting him off and putting him off and putting him off and off and off until I saw him at the theater. He's been wanting to get back with me.
So how long has this been going on?
How long has it been going on, Laureen? No, seriously. Tell us. I want you to tell him. When did you first call me, son?
Ladies, I got the questions covered.
Okay.
How long have you been seeing your ex-wife?
It's been over the last 3 months.
Over the last 3 months. Ms. Hicks, how long do you say you've been seeing your ex-husband?
He's been calling me for years since we left here. He's been trying.
Hang on, Ms. Banner, yes.
Ms. Hicks is not lying.
Thank you.
I have seen her number on our bill. But Mr. Harper said, I just want to check on her. I don't have no problems with her. I just want to check on, see how she's doing. I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with you calling. If you just calling to check on.
Stop, please. I ain't got no kid.
But you just asked. Your question was, how long have we been seeing each other?
And that's 3 months.
That was the question, and it's been 3 months. That's it.
I guess the point I'm trying to get to is, if you've been calling her all along and giving her rings and giving her wedding dates and not coming through with that, is she part of the reason that you don't commit to her?
Oh my God, he's lying again. He's lying. 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 He's a liar. You are I knew I wanted to hear this one. Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
He's crazy.
That, right?
My God,
sir, you ain't fired a missile in so long. Ain't nobody crazy.
My question initially was to him with respect to whether or not he was ever really serious about marrying you, given that he's been in contact with her all along. He's saying it only became romantic in the last 3 months. What are your feelings right now about how your relationship is going and why you haven't gotten a commitment and how you feel right now?
I sincerely believe at this point he wants to be with her. He wants to be with her, and if he's been communicating with her as often as she said she had, then I know he's been communicating with her. That's where he wants to be. I'm over it.
You done?
I'm over it. I'm over it. 'Cause this is I'm sick of it.
So when you leave here today, you gonna go home and who's getting kicked out?
He gonna go to her house. Because me and my son gonna stay where we at, and I'm gonna keep my ring in case I need it. I'm not giving nothing back today.
Mr. Harper?
And he could get the hell on.
What do you want?
Well, I mean, I do love her.
Hang on. What do you want?
I do love her. We just got some issues going on right now. But if that's the way she feel about it,
yes.
That I can move out.
Yes.
Yeah, I can move out because I can always, we can always continue doing what we're doing. Matter of fact.
Yeah.
Who can continue to?
So you want to live? You want to get back with Ms. Hicks?
Your Honor.
No, let him talk. Let him talk. Tell me what you want.
Yeah, let's let him. Oh Lord, I want to hear this.
I didn't want to say this, but.
What?
I think she's pregnant. Wait a minute.
You hit me.
Think she's pregnant?
Lord Jesus.
Why do you think she's pregnant?
Because she told me she was.
Honey.
Oh my God, he's lying again. He's lying. 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 He's a liar. You are I knew I wanted to hear this one. Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
He's crazy.
That, right?
My God.
Sir, you ain't fired a missile in so long.
Ain't My God.
Ain't nobody pregnant.
Ms. Hicks.
sir.
Just don't throw
Ms.
nothing.
Hicks.
Don't throw nothing. You
That
got
was-
anything
that
else
was
to
for
know?
him.
Because I'm trying to.
Ladies,
for him.
ladies.
Okay, 'cause I-
oh,
that was
ladies.
for
That was for him.
Ladies.
I just want to make sure, because I think I'm being okay. I'm being good.
That was
you
for
know.
him. That was for him.
Stop, Ms. Banner. Are you pregnant, Ms. Hicks?
You know why he think I'm pregnant?
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why he thinks I'm pregnant. Because he know what he was doing, and he think I don't know what he was doing. That's why we stopped seeing. That's why I shut things down. Okay? Because I got other things to do.
All I want to know is, why does he think you might be pregnant?
He thinks I'm pregnant because he be using these little needles in the condom. You know what I'm saying? And when he think I didn't see that happen, I saw that happen.
What is you
but I was
talking about?
protecting myself
Oh, God.
all along because I don't play with Lauren like that.
I don't even believe
I
that.
don't believe that.
promise you,
Don't nobody know
I
what
never
you're
told
talking
him.
about.
I
They're
never
crazy.
told him that I was pregnant. I promise you that on my life. He thinks I'm pregnant because he knows what he's been doing, and he was trying to stick me. He wants to keep me. He's been trying to have me since I left this place.
They crazy.
He's been trying to be with me from day one,
Well,
and it
why
ain't no
did you
fact.
have a producer get you a? Why did you have one of my
No,
people
I
get you a
called her
pregnancy
and told her I
test?
was not pregnant. I told her I'm not pregnant. I promise you I'm not
Yeah,
pregnant.
but you didn't tell me that.
Okay.
I want you to think what you want to think, just like you want us all to think what you want us all to think.
All
Now,
right, that's it.
all right.
You
I'm
think
done.
you feel some
All right,
kind of
I'm
way?
done.
As a woman, I think that this needed to happen, okay? For other women to see how this looks. We just need to stop this all over the world. Period.
Right.
When this happens, it needs to be over.
agree.
You throwing stuff, I got a moan to keep myself calm. You know what I'm saying?
So, Mr. Harper, are you aware of what happened? And I do not want any interruptions, no singing, no hollering, no nothing. No throwing inhalers, all of that's got to stop. Mr. Harper, do you understand what has happened here today?
I see what happened.
Tell me what you think has happened here today.
I made a mistake. I made
And
a
what
mistake.
was that mistake?
First mistake was getting with her.
Absolutely.
That was a mistake.
You mean the first time when you married her or the second time 3 months ago?
3 months ago. 3 months ago. And because I'm not trying to make this look like no circus or like nothing stupid up here.
Well, too late for that.
Yeah. I'm just ready to be done with it.
Be done with what?
Both of them.
Ms.
Both of
Banner,
them.
how do you feel about that?
I'm over it. I'm done. I have nothing left. I've given all I can give. Call it
Done
controlling.
done everything you're gonna do, and,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
done it.
over, and that's it.
I'm
Ms.
done.
Hicks,
Yes.
where do you stand?
I'm good. My whole point is, he said he made a mistake. The first mistake he made was leaving me in the first place. I had this man's back with everything that I had. I loved him, and I was there for him. That's the first mistake he made by doing what he did to with her and to me. Okay? The second mistake he made was continuously calling me. Okay?
Do you think that you say you were just playing and whatever, but is it a little bit about you getting back at her? Look what she did to me. She hurt me. She took my husband. Let me pay her back. Let her
Your
show.
Honor, this is how I feel, honestly. Like I said, it's like I don't care about I don't have nothing to her. That would take too long for me to try to, let me get back at her. He had already been getting back at her from day one. My whole thing is this, as a woman, and I'm being very serious, as a woman, I think that this needed to happen, okay, for other women to see how this looks. We just need to stop this all over the world. Period.
Right.
When this happens, it needs to be over.
agree.
You throwing stuff, I got a moan to keep myself calm. You know what I'm saying? And then he just sitting here, he got it all
Looking
made
stupid.
up. He has a plan. His plan was he was going to get
have
back
his
with
cake
me.
and eat it
I
too.
was going to be pregnant, so I was not going to really have a choice. He was going to leave her because he didn't really want that anyway. And then he was going to come back over here and live with me. But the thing is that you can't do that without me. Because there ain't nothing inside me for him. I'm not feeling like that. I'm wishing him well. I was wrong for having the fun that I was having. But like I said, I'm single, he's single, she's single. You know what I'm saying? An engagement after a year and a half or 2 is not going to happen if you engage for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all these years.
Absolutely.
After a while, he ain't marrying you.
All right.
So I'm just saying, I'm good. I'm good.
You're right about
okay.
it.
I'm good.
You may be good, but I'm tired.
I know you're tired. I know you are.
So I'm gonna say a couple of things.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go roll. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure everybody understands this is all me. From the time I start speaking now until I hit that door. So don't say another word. You're entertaining people, and you're entertainers, and you've entertained me a bit. Then you got under my skin, and then now I'm going to say this. I fussed at you the first time that you came here because it was a rotten, ratty thing to do. And I'm going to tell you something. We women, you know, I don't know if there's a scarcity, a paucity of men out there. There's just not enough to go around. I don't know what the issue is. But as long as we continue to disrespect one another by not respecting each other's man, not respecting each other as people, we are never going to get anywhere. They're going to be rotating around, one woman after another, serial monogamy. If I don't want you, I can get you. I see it in here all the time. And at the end of the day, the women end up with a couple of kids and all by themselves. And it happens again and again and again. Once a man shows you his true colors by cheating with you, that's who he is. You get a cheater, and you will be cheated upon. And I wish you all the best. I hope you make people laugh. I hope you continue to sing, but don't you ever come back here. This matter is
So I came here with 2 women, and I'm leaving with nothing. Guess what? I'm okay with it because I got my life back. I'm gonna keep on singing, and I'm gonna keep making money, and I'm gonna find me somebody else that appreciate me and that can love me. But right now, that's just a life of a player, baby.
What I learned today is how you start out is how you finish. It's too many fish in the sea to be sitting around waddling with one guppy.
It's over. We can't be friends. Don't call me. Don't holler at me. Don't do none of that stuff. I don't know. I can't believe he was so arrogant to think that he was going to leave here today with me like we had some real kind of relationship.
today on Divorce Court.
Alvin is an alpha male, and I tend to think of myself as an alpha female. So we do go head to head and toe to toe at times, and I stand my ground.
Well, my main issue with Shannon seems to be she's a little junky and a little untidy compared with me.
My main issue with Alvin is his extreme OCD.
My hesitation with marriage is because I'm afraid I'll lose my own identity. I think we got a great relationship without this paper.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Alvin Cook and Shannon Miller. The two of you have been together for a year. Ms. Miller wants Mr. Cook to put a ring on it already. So I gave him my compatibility test, and we don't have a license because Mr. Cook is really not feeling it. So why don't we start with Mr. Cook? Why don't you tell me what's going on and how did we end up here?
Shannon and I, we met online, and we text without talking for 2 to 3 months. And we then came to an agreement, decided to come live with me here in Chicago.
You never seen him? I mean, you never seen him in person before you moved in with him?
No, just pictures he sent me, and we texted. We didn't even speak on the phone. I packed 2 suitcases, got a one-way ticket, and flew to Chicago with $20 in my pocket.
Mrs. Miller, he could have been anybody.
He could have.
You know, he could have sent you anybody's picture. He could have been anybody.
But he wasn't.
That's not the point, though. Did any of your friends tell you you were crazy?
At some point, but they also have known me long enough and know me well enough to know that there had to be something there for me to pick up and do that. And when I went to Chicago, it wasn't necessarily that I was going to live there and stay there, because if he hadn't have been who he said he was,
You'd have bounced.
I would have gone straight back to Washington in a heartbeat. If he hadn't have been who he sent pictures of and came across as
what was he saying that was so good that in 3 months you picked up and moved out there to live with him?
You know, I'm not quite sure. He was very open and honest about himself, and there was constant texting morning, noon, and night every single day.
You know, they got cafe bars full of guys in Nigeria who do the same thing.
Yes, I know they do. They usually ask for money, though.
Well, now, Mr. Cook.
Yes, ma'am.
She came out there. Did you have any reservations about moving in or having a woman that you really didn't know personally move into your space?
Your Honor, yes, I did. I had preconceived, not so good thoughts even before she came. But that was just, I'm sure that was by way of who I am. And
I think any normal person
would
should be horrified by that fact.
But I did it, and I did it out of trying something different. 1, 2, I would like to think I'm not an illogical man at this age.
Right.
And I'll take a person as they are, as long as it's some truth there. And we can go from there. Nobody's rich, nobody's perfect in life. I've learned up to 59. And you give a person a chance, you give yourself a chance. And I accepted her in my home.
I see. I wouldn't have done it, but I see how he comes across and how you were reeled in. Not reeled in, because I'm not saying you were a bad guy.
Thank you.
But I can see the words that you found so beautiful. I wouldn't have gone, but I get that. You say that she's trying to be the alpha in the relationship and you the boss and you don't like it. Explain that to me.
I think and feel myself as being a man, meaning I make decisions for myself. I've been on my own since college. I've been to some places in the United States. I'm a solitary kind of guy. I never needed a crowd, never was in gangs and none of that crap. So I'm an alpha male in that respect, if I can say it that way, for that reason. Well, we had a conversation. She says she's an alpha female. I'm hearing her on the outside, and I'm smooth and smiling, but inside I'm like, whoa, because I felt that's going to rub against my alpha maleism, so that kind of sparked me. But I'm still open to see how this unfolds. I'm still always trying to be open.
Well, what's bothering you about her?
She wants things her way. Well, keep in mind, I've been used to doing things my way. So we have to find some kind of happy medium.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
From my papers here, I understand you were in a profession in which you were in charge of women.
Yes, ma'am. I wasn't actually in charge. I think people got the bad perception of that. TV have set the stage of the definition of that. It was not like that at all.
It was not like that. What were you doing?
I was security, the guy as being strength, and a strong man and an advisor with women who already had their mindset in their profession.
So you were a pimp light.
Well, if you want to call it that way, yes. Yes.
Did you ever have any problem with doing that?
At the time, I didn't, and here's why I didn't. I think that it was just like any other profession that's been around for a long period of time.
What is that? You back in the day?
That was actually me back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes. But that photo was taken at an award ceremony.
I don't care about that. I want to know if you had problems pimping out women.
I did not have a problem being an agent for a woman.
Did you know about his background?
Yes, I did. He was very honest with me.
Did that cause you any concern?
No, because I know I'm a strong woman, and if he would have tried to play that game with me, it wouldn't have worked at all. I'd have walked away in a heartbeat.
Wouldn't you have some concerns about his character or his moral code that he could, at any time in his life, pimp out women?
From everything that he had told me, I knew that was part of his past, that it was something he hadn't been involved in years. So it wasn't a concern for me. It was just something that was part of his past. We all have a past.
Yeah, but you know, it's just like I've never killed anybody or anything like that. I mean, I don't. I mean, there's certain things I wouldn't do. It's certain things that are just beyond the pale, and one of those things is pimping out women.
But he wasn't out recruiting women. They were women that was what they chose to do.
Women don't choose to do that. They get put in a position where they don't have any other choices, and then men take advantage of that fact. That's what happens.
She got this thing about candles. I look up, when she came there was Commonwealth Edison light bulb, but now it's candles all around. I think I'm living with a witch. I'm getting spooked.
Mrs. Miller, you say he's a neat freak. And it's just, it's over the top and unbelievable, and you can never get anywhere because he's always got some kind of process and procedure he has to go through. Please explain that to me.
This man has extreme OCD. Everything has to be perfectly aligned in its place. If I'm finished getting ready for work and I've cleaned up in the bathroom and I walk out and there's like 2 strands of hair that are left laying across the sink, that's an issue for him. If in the refrigerator, if there's just a little speck, and we're talking it could be a pepper flake, not even a peppercorn, but a pepper flake on the shelf, then the refrigerator is junky and needs to be cleaned. If he can't see his reflection in the reflector pans on the stove, then the stove and oven need to be cleaned.
Mr. Cook, you got a little OCD going on over there?
I have great OCD. Not only that, but I do all of the cleaning in the house. One, her hands has never touched the mop. Her hands has never touched the toilet stool. Her hands have never been in bleach water. Because
you take care of it.
I take care of it. And the reason I do that is because I've been said to have OCD. But there's something I feel remarkable about that. If this is the lifestyle I chose to be neat and clean, I don't think I should allow someone else to come and junkie it up.
Okay.
My girl, who I love.
And you say she is junky and is messing up your clean space. What is she doing?
Well, one string of hair isn't it. It's a lot of strings of hair. Now, not only is a lot of strings of hair, but for me, I like, and I know you might laugh at me, but culturally, I'm like Shaft. I like a neat, sharp apartment. There's nothing wrong with that. So therefore.
So wait a minute here. You brought a picture of what?
Yeah, that's her. That's when she leaves in the morning.
That's some gathered hair.
That's some gathered hair, but it's your hair. It's a lot of it. Well, at any rate, here's why it bothers me. Ma'am, come on, give a guy a break. Here's why it bothers me. I have the right to think I'm like that in a bag of chips and all of that, with hot sauce on it. Yeah. But the problem seems to be, I love this person emotionally over here. That stands, just like in cement. But over here, she's a little junky, like a Viking. And it's bothering my cleanliness.
Yeah, it's messing with your head.
It's messing with my smooth.
Yeah, with your smooth and your cool.
And I got no problem with saying that.
You got your sharp on and she's messing up.
That's messing it up.
She's messing it up.
My equipment is very expensive. My equipment, I'm a musician. I buy stuff expensive. Well, she got this thing about candles. I look up, when she came there was Commonwealth Edison light bulbs, but now it's candles all around. I think I'm living with a witch. I'm getting spooked.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
You should get an award.
I should.
I got
one.
A big one.
I want to switch to his not cleanliness OCD-ness, but process and procedure, because you say it's a big deal about going anywhere, and I want you to explain to me what he's doing.
I don't want to continue to hear, this is my girl. I'm not his girl. I'm his other half. And I would like to hear, this is my wife. And I would like to be able to say, this is my husband, not just some dude I live with.
So why don't you tell me about that, Mrs. Miller?
Well, this man takes forever to get ready to go anywhere.
What does he do?
Showers, shaves, has to make sure everything's clean and neat and tidy. And if he sees something that's not quite right, he's got to go take care of that before he finishes getting ready. He was walking me to work every morning because I walked to work, which meant he had to get up about 2.5 hours before I needed to walk out the door so that he could shower and shave. I got a lot of hair on my head. I could be up, dressed, and ready to go to work within 45 minutes. I didn't need to get up 2.5 hours before I had to walk out the door to go to work. And it got to the point where he still couldn't be ready when I needed to walk out the door to go to work. So by the time I'm walking out the door, I'm now speed walking to get to work
on time.
And then I'm a hot, sweaty mess and barely getting into work on time. So I fired him from walking me to work.
A smart move. Smart move. So you got to have your cool on before you leave the house, no matter where you're going. Even if you're walking her to work, you got to be straight and sharp and tight, right?
I'm a true American, yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't know if that has anything to do with being American. I'm an American, too. And
before you leave the house, I'm sure that you look like all of that.
Never.
Thank you.
You think he's unreasonable? You think he doesn't compromise?
I think he likes to always be right and have the last word. I think he's learning to compromise. We're getting there because I don't back down. Mm-hmm. If I feel strongly about something, I'm going to stand my ground.
What is your point of view on that?
In the beginning, I liked that about her. Why? I never wanted to be with a woman who's quote unquote a wallflower. Yes, mm-hmm. That would bore the heck out of me. Mm-hmm. I like a woman who's strong, has their own opinion, and is an individual. Mm-hmm. When I met her, we got together in where she lives with me now, I say, Shannon, look, I say, in this life, and I looked her straight in the eye, I say, there is you, there is me, and then there's us. Some men want to get a woman into their life, and there's no more them. It's just you belong to me. It's all about me. I say, you're an individual. There is you. You must do things for you that makes you happy. She's standing right there. I'm saying this. And do you. And then I'm going to do me. And then there is us. Your identity should never be overshadowed by me, whether I try to or you give it to me. There is you.
Hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
Does everything he say come with some long philosophical explanation?
Pretty much.
I mean, can he ever? I mean, is this the psychological milieu in which you live?
He likes to hear himself talk. Yeah. And he loves to talk.
To hear himself talk.
And yeah, he's very long-winded. I tell him, you lose a person, you talk so long, you know?
Now, Mrs. Miller, the point of this whole proceeding is not necessarily to determine your compatibility, which is usually what I use it for. You want a ring already.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me what your discussions have been with respect to that and why you want it.
We have had this conversation in regards to a ring being put on my finger and making that commitment. And for me, you know, I'm going to be 52 here in a few days, and he's going on 60. We're not children anymore. And I don't want to continue to hear, this is my girl. I'm not his girl. I'm his other half. And I would like to hear, this is my wife. And I would like to be able to say, this is my husband, not just some dude I live with.
Great.
That was very straightforward. I'm going to let you respond momentarily. And I know I'm going to get a philosophy with this answer. If you try to keep it to a minimum, I would be oh so very grateful. Why don't you, if she's your woman, she's the one you love, she's in your home, you two are committed to one another, why not a ring?
It's not so much not the ring for her. I love her, I like our company, the conversations, but I've accepted as more of my past that's got me from jumping into this with all smiles. For one, I've had a bad past with relationships.
You've had some rocky romances in the past that didn't end well, and you're not all of that comfortable jumping back into a committed relationship at this juncture. Is that basically what you're trying to tell me?
Basically, but it wasn't against my fault. Those people who I'm speaking of that I didn't want to, that I left from, we're friends right today. Mm-hmm. I mean, good friends, and she knows about it.
She's moved to another city for you.
I understand.
She changed her life for you, and she wants the ring. Now, me personally, I don't think a year is long enough.
Right.
And I understand your hesitation. I wouldn't do it in a year. I wouldn't move in with a guy either, though. I don't believe in that.
Right.
Because I believe it's harder to get the ring once you're in. Because there's no want, there's no need, there's no pull. Hey, he got it all, and he hadn't given up his freedom. So I just think that was a bad move on your part. That's just old school. So can't do anything for you other than wish you the best. And maybe, I don't know, one day he might.
One day I will.
This matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I love Alvin, and irregardless whether he puts a ring on my finger or not, I love what we have. I love him from the inside out, and I couldn't imagine not waking up with him every morning.
I do see marriage in my future with Shannon. This is only for now, as my preconceived fears are diminishing. It's only natural. It's only logical.
Today on Divorce Court.
Mike and myself, we got together based off opposite attractions. We found everything intriguing, and those opposites brought us here today because now we're clashing.
Leslie and I have different lifestyles. She's a party animal, and I'm not.
I wish that he would change his ways because he's cheap, he's boring, and I'm just fed up with not getting no kind of attention when it comes to the romance.
I love Leslie, and I'm here willing to work on our issues for the sake of our marriage and our kids.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Leslie Graves and Michael Graves. Mr. and Mrs. Graves, you've been together for 14 years, married for 11. However, there have been some monumental, significant changes throughout the course of your marriage, which has caused some monumental, significant troubles within your marriage. So we're going to start with you, Mrs. Graves. Why don't you tell me what's going on?
Well, me and Michael got together off the chat line, and what we started was very different from the previous relationships that I had, and I found that intriguing. Well, the opposite that we had grew us here today.
Okay. Well, what happened?
We stopped going out. He stopped being more attentive. You know, he became cheap, lazy, don't want to go nowhere, don't want to do nothing.
Reasons.
Cheap, lazy, and don't want to do nothing.
Yes. It just got boring. And I'm kind of the party girl. I like to go out. I like to have fun. I like to be center of attention. I like to live life.
Right.
You know.
And he's not living life.
He's living on the couch.
He's living on the couch. Mr. Graves, your wife says you're living on the couch. Is that true?
I'm taking care of responsibilities. That's
taking care of responsibilities.
I have a job where I work anywhere up to 20 hours a day. Well, 16 hours a day. Let me take that back. I'm gone all the time, but I'm home when I can be. I'm in the transportation industry. I'm a truck driver. Recently moved over to dispatching position, so now I'm home more frequently.
Right.
Miss Graves is right about one thing. She definitely is a party girl.
Right.
When I met her, we had totally different lifestyles. She likes to go out a lot. She likes to drink, party. She used to be part of a motorcycle social club where she was gone all the time.
This is a whole new thing for me. Women in motorcycle clubs, it's become a common theme out here. It's a new, that's all right, you know, but
well,
I'm just saying.
It's all right, but when you leave at 5 o'clock p.m. one day and don't come home until 5 or 6 o'clock a.m. the next day.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
Do you do that, Mrs. Graves?
Well, first
Tell
off,
the truth.
yes, I did. And he knew of it, and he had the opportunity to go and hang out with me because we can bring our spouses. He chose not to. He don't like to do nothing. He would let me go out, have fun with your friends. Go do the party thing. Go do the club thing. Just come home to me.
Let me say this. I understand that you went through a significant change throughout the course of your marriage,
I was
which you believe caused a lot of friction, and I want you to tell me what that is.
Oh, I had the weight loss surgery back in 2009, and he told I was 409 pounds, and yes, thank you. 409 pounds, Your Honor.
There's a whole lot to go with that weight loss.
He told me when I lost the weight, I done lost my mind, but
Yes,
in
she
reality,
did.
I gained some sense.
She lost half her mind. She lost the
Do you have
common
a
sense
picture of the
part.
way you?
I do.
You still
I
look
do.
and-
I have
and the
a
way you
picture
look now?
before and after. And I even brought the shirt that I wore in my Daisy Dukes.
You were okay. Let's
I
see
was
the
a
Daisy
big
Dukes.
woman, and these were my Daisy Dukes.
Wow.
I could put myself in one side of the plate,
Your
in
Honor.
one side, and this was the shirt XXX.
I will not take the weight
I will
loss.
tell you this though. You were beautiful both ways.
Yes, she was.
and that's why I was very confident
You
on
really,
how I
yeah,
looked.
you know, you were beautiful. But that's a pretty way. I
Now-
know you're happier the way you are now, but you were beautiful both ways.
Your Honor, this comes with a price. It came with the price of almost killing her marriage off and her kids.
Well, what changed when she changed?
After she started getting real, starting to lose the weight, her head went Jack in the Box real quick. She started she was beautiful before. She was always confident, always beautiful, but she started getting that head where I couldn't tell her nothing. She wanted to go out with her friends every day, drink every day, party every day, and she did. And that caused a significant problem with the surgery. The smoking, the drinking. She had like 6 surgeries right after that, for perforated ulcers and all kind of medical problems.
Mrs. Graves,
From going
after
right back to
all
the
that
partying.
surgery and weight loss,
But-
you were messing. You were fouling up that beautiful body.
Let me
know
tell
what,
you though.
Your Honor? He was
Your
the
Honor,
reason
no,
why
let
I
me tell
smoked
you.
and drank.
Let him finish. Go ahead.
I would sit there and I would tell her. She promised me before the surgery, we had to go through counseling. The doctor told her and me, sat us down and said, your libido's gonna go, you're gonna get arrogant. Everything he told us that was gonna
Is
happen.
exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened. Exactly
No.
what
Did
happened.
your libido go?
She got big-headed. She wanted to go.
Yeah.
There was an instant when we were at her mom's house at a barbecue in the backyard. And she was drinking, and she talking about how all these men now all of a sudden want to have sex with her because they looking at her and, ooh, you look good, and ooh, you this and that. I'm sitting right next to her like, so I grabbed the beer because I'm thinking she drinking too much and she talking too much. And
you
me and
need to
her got a
stop.
little
No,
struggle
first off,
going.
it wasn't
said,
that
you
I
know
was
what?
drinking too
She
much and
was.
doing all
Hang on,
that.
Miss
He
Green,
wasn't
let
paying
him
me no,
respond.
never mind, okay?
No.
And all
No, wait,
attention
wait.
at the time was
She gotta
good
be-
attention
No.
for me. So at the time, he wasn't giving me the adequate attention that I was wanting. And so when I was getting it from other people, I wasn't feeding off it, or I wasn't
Yes, you
wasn't
was.
responding to it. But it felt good just to be acknowledged. It felt good to be noticed because you look all right,
Your
okay.
Honor, Your
Yes,
Honor, that
yes.
ain't the case. Exaggerline, that's what she's doing right now. She's
Exaggerline.
exaggerline. Because what it was I was still trying to maintain the family, but she was
Maintaining the shop.
getting a lot of attention, some negative, some positive. Whatever it was, I've always loved her, big, small, whatever. I've never said anything before her surgery. She can never tell you that I've ever called her fat, complained about her weight or anything. Never did. If you see our marriage picture, she was big in our marriage picture, and I was smiling just as hard then. When she was going through her sicknesses and illness, I was right there with her. I still had the family to maintain, and she couldn't do it because she was sick. She was off work.
Right.
When she started getting all this attention, it wasn't that I wasn't giving her attention. It was that she wasn't getting all the woo-woos that was going on. She wasn't
Now
getting
be
that.
honest, Mrs. Graves, that does tend to turn a person's head when all of a sudden the whole world takes notice of what you look like. You can't tell me you didn't enjoy that just a bit.
It felt fantastic, and I ran with it. I did.
She ran with it. You hear her, she ran with it.
You know, for him to say that he was too busy maintaining the household, yeah, please, that's everyday living. That's life. You got to live it beyond just paying bills. And he wasn't even a good budgeter. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what you're saying is though we do have to do what we do to maintain life, we also have to live it as well during it. So that leads me to my next question is, my understanding is that you pretty much just stopped having sex with this guy after you lost the weight.
After I did have the surgery, yes, it did go, you know, my
libido?
Yeah, it was just gone. And he didn't make it no better by come service me, come give me some, hook me up. I mean, there was no intimacy, there was no romance, there was nothing. Just come and hook me up.
So as I was saying, the living life that you were living didn't include much sex anymore, as Mr. Graves says. Is that accurate?
Yes. Well, you know.
Explain that to me.
When we first got together, he was still involved with somebody, I was still involved with somebody, and we kind of kept it sexual. So it was his work schedule, my work schedule, it was just more of a hit and miss. So he was like the, you know, just the call.
Hit it and quit it and go on home.
Go on about your business. And so then we made it official. Once we made it official, it was still pretty much, you know, live, you know, in the room. But after I did have the surgery, yes, it did go, you know, my
libido?
Yeah, it was just gone. And he didn't make it no better by come service me, come give me some, hook me up. I mean, there was no intimacy, there was no romance, there was nothing. Just come and hook me up.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Graves, what is your comment?
She got a bad memory because this is how it goes. After this surgery, she did do what she was partying all the time, never home, gone from 2 o'clock in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. So after a while, my intimacy level with her slowed down because it's like, well, you're not here. What, you know? But as far as come service me and all that, she knows that's a joke. I used to do that as a joke. But now, Miss Not Right Now, right here, let me tell you about Miss Not Right Now. Her name is Miss NRN. Because whenever I ask her for intimacy, not right now. She on her video game, not right now.
You need to get the WD-40 because he's so tight he's squeaking right now. Get the WD-40.
Ms. Graves.
She complains.
You complain of a lack of romance, but how is he to be romantic when you're not in the house?
When he's there, oh no, I'm in the house. And when I'm in the house, I'm usually with the kids. And my kids are 4.0, all into sports, academically inclined, everything.
Kudos to you on that one.
I stay on them like white on rice. But this man right here, the 2 days that he was home, all he did was sleep. He went from the bedroom to the toilet, and that's in the same room. Yeah, and then he would go into the kitchen, make him a plate, eat in the bedroom, leave his plate next to him, and go to sleep. What type of life is that? Yeah, sleeping all day, eating all day.
Mr. Graves?
I'm gone all week long. I'm in a truck all week long. I come home to no dinner. I come home to no loving. It's no, how was your day? It's no, well, let me, you know, let's go out and have. I take her out. When we go out, we go to dinner or movies. That's not good enough.
Ask him the last time we went out on a date.
That's not good enough for her. Because she don't appreciate it. That's why I don't.
What it is that he was so used to us just going to every buffet. That's his way of going out.
Oh my God.
Anytime we go somewhere, it's got to be a buffet. No, Your Honor, we go to a restaurant and it's not even a buffet, but this man will make it a buffet and have 3 plates in front of him. I mean, everywhere we go, it's got to be food. I can't eat like I used to. I can't even think about eating like I used to. So I like to dance. Yeah, I like to go out. I like to mingle. He don't like to do that. So in other words, if I'm not eating, we ain't gonna do nothing.
I got a budget that even though she say I don't have, I gotta pay. I gotta pay the rent. I pay the utilities when we have them. I pay everything. Everything basically comes out of my check.
Are you guys flush? I mean, is everything cool on that regard, or is buying stuff a problem? Ms. Graves, you call him Take Back Mike because he is so cheap. Please give me an example of how cheap Mr. Graves is.
Your Honor, we went shopping at the mall and we bought some shoes and a couple of other items. He felt bad, or he thought about the money he could save, so he went back and took it back. I'm like, why did you take it back? Because I felt guilty.
You know why I felt guilty? Because I got kids to feed, rent to pay,
Kids
car
is fed,
payments. I got a
clothes,
budget. I got a budget that even though she say I don't have, I got to pay. I got to pay the rent. I pay the utilities when we have them. I pay everything. Everything basically comes out of my check.
Are you guys flush? I mean, is everything cool on that regard,
no.
or is buying stuff a problem?
Buying stuff was a problem because he don't like to give me no money.
Wow.
He talking about all this money he making from
Your
being
Honor,
gone
I
all the
let her
time.
You
keep
say
her
you
check.
can't afford it.
She keeps her own checks. I don't ask her for no money for nothing.
Oh no,
I
that's
don't
take
ask
that
her for
mic.
no money.
He makes.
She keeps
No,
her
I don't
checks.
make-
I
period.
understand you brought a chart of your budget.
Yes, I do. Of
Well,
the
let me see that.
the last few months of what we've had to do. We don't have a car. My car broke down
Tell
on
her
my
why we
way
don't
to
have a car, 'cause
my
you
car
got it
broke
took from
down
me.
on my way to work.
Oh, you got fancy with it.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Wow, really?
Now, that's our rent. Right now, we're in a rental car that we have to share going back and forth to work. I pay $1,600 a month for that rental car. It's the car we came down here in. In fact,
Now, Mr. Graves, you have got to be able to find a better solution than $1,600 a month in a rental
this is the
car.
problem. I got to get to work every day. This rental car has cost me that much because the car is not actually that much, but when you don't have insurance, they add it together and it's double the price. So I'm paying that, trying to find a car. I have to. We're
Get
sharing.
a little hoopty for $1,000.
That's what I'm trying to do, but I pay all the
Obvious.
bills. Ask her when's the last time she paid the rent? When she paid the utility. I pay
You know
all of
what?
that out of my check.
I paid the bills. When I first got with him, I was paying everything because he didn't have a job. He was doing little
Lord
odds
have
and ends
mercy.
and whatnot, trying to make, things happen. But I paid it for the first 7 years. I did myself.
Lucky we
Now
didn't
that he got this good paying job to where he can, let me kick back. Let me keep my little money.
I understand. No, wait, hang on, Mrs. Graves. Let me kick back, but you kicking back to the tune of negative $1,240 a month. Do you know how big a hole you're digging?
He's
just because
digging
you
it.
want to kick back? No,
We're
it's
in
not
this
a he,
together,
it's a
baby.
we.
You know?
No,
You guys in this thing together.
No, he puts me in it when it's overbearing for him. But when he thinks he's got everything in control, he likes to micromanage me. So,
No.
it's kind of hard when you got somebody all in your ear telling me what I need to do. And then when I do it, oh, you ain't doing it right. Let me do it. And it's like that with the budget. When I took us out of debt,
Wow.
he told me
when was this?
in February when I paid your folder $200 debt. He
Wow.
says,
She did it one
Your
time
Honor,
out of 11 years, Your Honor. One
because
time
the
she
first
gets
7
us
I
out
took
of
care
debt.
of him. Anyhow, when I paid it this past February, I paid $4,200 of our past debt.
Right.
We were zero balance. By June of the same year this year, we were back to where we started
Why?
from because
Why?
he quit
Why?
his job.
She wanted me to quit because she said that it was hurting our marriage, and she calls me Mr. ATM.
Ain't nothing hurt a marriage like not having a job.
Well,
Oh, that-
no, Your
I mean,
Honor.
talk about
No, Your
hurting a
Honor.
marriage.
She calls me Mr. ATM because she said that's all I'm good for is paying the bills. That's all. When I quit my job, it was circumstances around that. I had a good paying job.
I
was
got you.
gone.
I got you.
I mean, 20
I know
I
what's
was
happening.
gone.
I know what's happening. Y'all lucky, because I enjoyed you. Mrs. Graves, what you need to do is be present at all times in the marriage. There is no point at which somebody gets to kick back and let the other person pull the wagon if that wagon is going under. You don't get to stop that. He held your hand when you were sick. He held your hand when you had the gastric bypass. All those 6 unnecessary surgeries is a function of your failure to treat your body as the temple as it is. He held your hand. And now you gonna kick back and watch this man drown in a sea of debt?
Don't be looking at me.
Your Honor, I did not.
The judge is talking.
No. Now take back Mike.
Squeaks.
I want you to make sure that you haven't begun to live a life that has lived past its expiration date. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't let life expire on you while you're sitting on the couch. I know she's a little too much. I know she's a little over the top, but join her over the top every once in a while because there's joy there. And I know you work really hard, and I know you get really tired, but every once in a while, just take a good, strong sip of what she's got going on and enjoy yourself. So, you know what I mean? So, Mr. Not Right Now, Ms. Not Right Now may give you some eventually. Y'all go on by yourselves and take care of yourselves. This matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think he does need to do the most changing because when it comes down to it, a happy wife is a happy life.
Even though I don't agree with that, I believe I'm going to do more changing because if I don't, then we'll stay at a standstill. And it takes a big man to get the plan together.